wait for permission to follow our dream. What are you waiting for? All our life, we've been taught to raise our hand and wait for permission before we express our idea. We've been taught to not dream until we're given permission to dream, to not act until we're given permission to act. But in the express lane, know that you don't have to wait for permission. There is no speed limit in the express lane. You can go far and above 65 miles per hour. No one's going to chase you down if you go above the speed limit because there are no rules and there are no regulations. Thank you for coming. And now coming to the stage is Brittany German and Alakia Williams.
Hello, and welcome to Georgia Southern's first live audience student talk show, The Express Lane, a place to express yourself. Our motto here at The Express Lane is to express yourself, because there is no lawyer, agent, or manager that can truly speak for you.
Our mission statement is to conquer a diverse audience in an efficient and effective manner with grace and success. The Express Lane has 4 main goals in conjunction with each episode: to entertain, educate, persuade, and most of all, inspire. It is our mission to not only attract and capture a broad audience and fan base, but also to maintain this captivation episode after episode with the show's versatile, unique, and enchanting topics and show production.
Please don't hold any of your thoughts back here. This is the place to express yourself. And now,
please welcome Christina Riley to the show for an original piece entitled The Express Lane Poem.
Each of you has something to say. We are each given a voice, a choice to share our view of the world. Whether great or small, we all have something to say. But far too often our voices are drowned out by the noise of the world, by the clatter of the chatter people who think they matter more. But what we have to realize is what's real inside each one of us, and that's a voice. A voice with words to share with each other, with words to share with the world. The Express Lane is just that. A lane to express, a venue to be you, a platform to perform your innate talent, a place to dispel fear and have the listening ear of everyone. The Express Lane, a place of dreams, a place of opportunity, a place to be free because we're all given the freedom of expression, the freedom to live, the freedom to be who you are, who you're created to be, a wonderful you. The Express Lane, a place of dreams, a place of opportunity.
your host and president of The Express Lane, political science major, sophomore, James Capper.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Great, thank you for coming out. I'm so sorry, but we couldn't get the theater for the show, so this room had to work. But my name is James Capper. I'm president and I'm host of the Express Lane, a place to express your voice. We started this organization because we felt like forums need to be something of the past. We felt like people were restrained and they were limited when they so-called could express their voice. So I feel like a student talk show will be a foundation where students can truly come express their voice. So that's the reason why I thought of this idea. That's the reason why I thought Georgia Southern needed it. We are Georgia Southern's first live audience student talk show, and I would really like to thank y'all for coming out. Our topic tonight is frats versus gangs. Is there a difference? Samantha, what you think?
There is a distinct difference.
Distinct. Is there anybody that doesn't think there isn't a difference between frats and gangs? Oh, don't be scared, because y'all was filling my inbox with saying that there wasn't a difference. So don't be scared now. But that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about frats and gangs. Is there a difference? To help me talk about is there a difference or not, are our special reporters, Dion Rhodes and Christina Riley. Please welcome them.
Alright, so you're the special reporters, and we just surveyed several people, and we asked them what they thought differences and similarities were between fraternities and gangs. So the people I surveyed, what the most popular response I received was that they thought they're basically pretty similar, there are more similarities than differences, and that's because they thought they were both social organizations and they did things as an organized group. So that was the major response that I received.
Mine was totally different from hers because the responses that I got were that there were many more differences than there were similarities. Most people said that yes, they do have colors, they do have signs, and they're like a social group, but when it all comes down to it, they have totally different purposes and totally different goals. So that was what my survey
So Deanne, do you truly think that there is a distinct difference, as Sam said, a distinct difference between fraternities and gangs?
I do think so.
What is a distinct difference?
First of all, they have totally different purposes. A gang is like more criminal, like that's what they do, gangs, like just stuff like that. While her fraternity is more like community service and, it's better than community.
So are you saying that please stop speaking. So are you saying that all fraternities are for good, all of them work for community and positivity?
I mean, that's what it should be. I'm not
But
sure.
do all of them do it though?
I couldn't answer
So
that
you would
question.
agree that some fraternities don't represent positivity. Some of them are just like gangs, represent negativity also.
I don't think so.
No, so there's no fraternity.
Not that I have seen.
Not that you. What about you, Christina? Do you think that there's a distinct difference between fraternities and gangs?
I think there is an obvious difference. That's why we have fraternities and we have gangs. Yeah, there's a difference.
Okay, what are some similarities? Do you think there are any similarities?
Like she said, they're like the colors, and they both have signs, different signs. They both are organization, and so yeah, they definitely have similarities.
They definitely have similarities. Okay, give it up for Christina and Dion. All right, we have some special student panelists and special show guests to help us talk about this topic. Please welcome sophomore political science major Everett Preston to the show. Please welcome middle grades education freshman Akila Peel to the show. Please welcome alumni English major, member of T Psi Phi fraternity, and former Crip gang member, Please welcome junior sociology major and president of Iota fraternity Charles Fagan to the show. And please welcome Chin Herbert, freshman public relations major to the show. Thank you. Give them all a warm round of applause. Hey, Charles, I'll start with you. What is it like being president of Iota fraternity? Because Iota is a predominantly black fraternity, is that correct?
Actually, I'm just now the immediate past president. I'm no longer the president at elections, and Malcolm Howard's now the president.
Okay, give it up for Malcolm.
Being the president of any fraternity is going to be...
Please stop speaking.
Being the president of any fraternity is going to be a very political position, and it's a very trying position, especially when you're trying to build something from the ground up. We have 5 members in my fraternity right now, and in our chapter, and a year ago, it was just me. So, building something from the ground up is definitely not the easiest task, something I've seen other people do, and I try to strive to do myself. But as far as, being a white guy in a black fraternity, a lot of people ask me the question, and, it's really not as bad as you would think. It's really not as uncommon. And, I have a lot of fraternity brothers who are all different colors. Black, white, brown, yellow, you name it, you got it.
Well, Charles, I received a lot of hate mail from people that are in fraternities just for doing this topic. So I would like to know, what do you, as a person that's in a fraternity, what do you think about this whole topic, fraternity versus gangs? Is there a difference?
I think it's good to talk about it. I think having an open discussion is probably the best way to educate the people. Do I think there are similarities? Yes. Do I think we're anywhere near each other? No. But I think that there are some trends that run along the same parallel lines. But I think that there are things that our organizations do that set ourselves apart from gangs. For instance, the massive amount of community service we do. Not long, I haven't seen any gangs doing community service cleaning up the county Saturday mornings.
All right, great. Well, Mr. Gerald Darden has been in a fraternity and he's been in a gang. So what better person to ask than him about similarities and differences between gangs and fraternities?
Well, there are actually some, things that both fraternities and gangs, may, form, like, kind of make them seem kind of the same. Like the initiation for a gang, can't say, that a fraternity does the same type of initiation, but it is kind of similar. We call it, we have to walk the line. And what that is, an aspiring gang member, he has to tie his hands behind his back with the flag, and on each side of him, there's like members of that gang. You have to like walk a number of times through that line as they proceed to, I guess, throw balls at them, throw whatever they can. Like if they have like lead pipes, bricks, whatever, the member has to walk that line. And as far as fraternity, I can't say what they do, for obvious reasons, but with a fraternity it's more of conditioning, making yourself a stronger person, if you want to say that.
So do you feel hazing still occurs?
No, I don't.
So you don't think, is there anybody in the audience that feels hazing does occur? You see, thank you. I want y'all to know, we do have fraternity people present, but this is the express lane. Please don't hold anything back. Please. I want to ask everybody to speak up. Please speak up. We don't have mics, so please speak up. What's your name?
Ken Perkins.
Ken Perkins. And you said you do feel like hazing still occurs.
I know it does.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so how do you know this for a fact?
I had two brothers that pledged Kappa Alpha Psi at FAMU, and they currently don't have a line right there until like 2012, I believe, or something like that, because of hazing, pretty much. So that's how I know.
So hazing, hold on, brother. So hazing was going on so much that they just cut the fraternity at that chapter, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know the exact details because of like what you said for obvious reasons, but I know that they suspended. Well, she has a question back there, but
hold on. Yeah. Would you ever join a fraternity?
I don't know.
Okay, give it up to Perkins. Speaking of the Kappas, since Perkins brought it up, Akila attended a Kappa Pro Day last Saturday. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I had fun, but towards the end, when they were doing a little skit, it was a humorous skit or whatever. There was some members of another fraternity behind me, and they took it to offense. Like, they was real angry, and then that's when all the yelling is.
Did you see those fraternity members in the
I'm actually not talking about what everybody else thinks I'm talking about. It was somebody directly behind me. But he was like real angry. He got on the phone and started talking about like how angry he was about what they did on stage or whatever. And then he started yelling out stuff, and then they were going back and forth for a minute.
So when you say he was yelling out stuff, what kind of stuff I just want to know, like, was it derogatory stuff towards those fraternity members or what?
He was actually threatening the people around him. He was like, if y'all keep laughing, I'm swinging on.
So he had Tourette's, that's what that was.
The reason why, certain people can't say things about, fraternities and the way they do things is the reason why coaches ask for their little bit of privacy or whatever, to keep things in-house and pretty much to make sure that what stays in-house, is in-house so that nobody else can get any type of weird ideas or whatever and break up the camaraderie of the group. So, I mean, if you want to think about it that way.
Well, of course, there are reasons. There are distinct reasons why people should join a fraternity. Before you become a Kappa, before you become an Alpha, before you join any fraternity, you should definitely know their mission statement. You should definitely know their purpose. So there are distinct purposes why you should join a fraternity. Charles, do you think there are reasons why people join fraternities for negative reasons? For reasons that don't pertain to the mission statement?
I think the biggest, and I think any Greek in here can relate to what I'm about to say, is that some people pledge for the letters and some people pledge for the fraternity. Some people pledge for the brotherhood and some people pledge for the popularity.
For the popularity, I want to talk about that. Chad, we're going to get to you. Get up and Chad. Charles just informed us that people, some frats pledge just for popularity. How do you feel about that statement?
Honestly, there's the perks for being in a fraternity and there's the downsides. And the downsides is why I wouldn't like pledge in a sorority or anything. But the perks is you want to get a job. If the boss is in your fraternity, you get the job. It's automatic. And I would like that if I could have pledged. But the downsides is like the hazing. I would not go through that because I would not do anything someone tells me if I didn't want to do it. So it's just my personal opinion though.
But you would not join a sorority, though?
Right now, I would say no. I would say right now, no.
Not right now.
Yeah, you have to convince me. Give me some nice basket package, and I'll be like, okay.
Okay, so speaking of hazing, Marcus Kepper has a personal hazing story that happened to his personal friend. We're going to invite him to the show to share with y'all what exactly happened. Come on, Marcus.
Well, this person wasn't my friend, but it was a person that I interviewed for the student panel. And after he told me what he told me, he didn't want to tell the show. So, we had no use for him. So I told him. But he did say it was okay if I shared it, but he didn't want to reveal his identity because of what he went through. Now, during initiation, he told me that there was a period where he was spanked. No, hold on, that's not it now. That's just the beginning. Nobody, do you want to be spanked? I'm 21 years old. I don't want to be spanked by another 21-year-old. But he told me he was spanked. He told me he was punched. He told me he was punished. He told me that they had him doing all kind of crazy things, and he was disconnected from the world. He went through a period where he was brainwashed. Now, there was something that happened to me, in my opinion, was borderline homosexual, but I'm not going to mention that.
No, you're going to.
No. Out of respect for him, I'm not going to mention that. Do y'all want to know? Yeah! I want y'all to beg a little bit, that's all. Oh man, this is hard for me to. There was a period where all his big brothers were standing in line like this, and all the little brothers, I guess that's what they're called, were standing in front of him. I mean, no disrespect, I don't know what to call them, but they were standing like in front of the big brothers. They told the little brothers to get on their knees. Yes, they did. And this guy told me that because one group member did something wrong, they had them all put a donut on the big brother's private part, penis. Yes, they did. And they told them to eat the donut. Would you eat the donut? Come on, y'all. Fortunately, this individual did not eat the donut, but his brothers did. They ate the donut. Does that make them gay? Is that hazing or is that not hazing? Is that a form of hazing? This brother said that is a form of hazing, so you can all make X amount and wasn't their fraternity. But that was a form of hazing, and that's a story that this guy wanted me to share with the students. Give it up for Marcus. Some of y'all said that y'all wouldn't eat the donut, but the truth is there are many people that would join fraternities at any cost.
at any extent. So at this time, we're going to open up the floor to the audience for questions and comments. I saw Ashley in first earlier in the show. What do you want to say?
Hey, actually, one day. I was going to comment on the hazing thing. I want to ask y'all a couple questions. Have you ever been a part of an organization that made you do something that you didn't want to do, or you felt uncomfortable in an organization, or anything like that? A regular organization. That is considered hazing. So it's not just fraternities or sororities that they make you do something different. That's what you think hazing is. Hazing is any organization. It can be a part of the organization. SGA. If SGA made me do something that I didn't want to do, then that means it's considered hazing. So that's the definition of hazing. Before we go out and put out specific groups. And I just want to put it out there just because you asked for hazing.
Great. Give it up for Ashley. Kitty, Alpha Phi Omega, right? Kitty is president of Alpha Phi Omega fraternity. Please stand up for the show. What do you think about the topic tonight, friends versus gangs?
I mean, I do think there's some similarities and there's also differences. I mean, you got the whole initiation process, you got the signs, the calls, colors, all that. I mean, so it's all, those are similar, and they all do promise, brotherhood and things like that. But like they said, there's differences, like, community service. I mean, there's positive reasons that, people join fraternities. I mean, there's positive reasons why people join gangs, and their head is positive. And I guess really, it's different from looking at how it is overall, what the result is. You gotta look at that person's shoes and how they view their decision and why they decide to join what they join.
Please calm down.
I just want to say, I don't want us to get away from just a main similarity and difference that I see. Similarity is loyalty. People join a gang because of the economic status they in, that's there, they want to belong. They will be loyal to that gang. People that commit an undergraduate degree to and a life if they join an MPHC organization, they're loyal to that. So loyalty is a good thing. I mean, I want people in the same organizations with me who are loyal. Now, when we talk about the other thing, the main difference that we're forgetting is that it's a higher education opportunity. You can be in a gang and be 13. You will not be a member of any MPHC organization and be 13 because that higher education format comes. You have to be a college student. And what people don't know is that those who go Greek have a higher retention rate because of that loyalty. They're glad to be a part of something in college, which entails they want to graduate on the stage with those letters. So I just don't want that to be forgotten.
Nice Cavion Harris. I owe my favorite fraternity. My stepbrother, he's in the cartel, or he was in the cartel. He's a travel, like a drug cartel. But so the perception of, I guess, black college students of what a gang is versus what a fraternity is completely, to me, off balance. In a gang, you kill and you rape and you murder. I've never seen any kind of gang go to adopt a highway and pick up trash from the side of the road unless they're in a chain gang in like a state. So fraternities, you have to be in college, and it's about loyalty, it's about brotherhood or sisterhood or whatever. But you're not going out murdering anybody. It's supposed to be of a positive image. Within that, you can't even generalize a fraternity or gangs. Because within fraternities, there are at least nine black Greek fraternities. So they're all different. They all have different purposes. So you can't really generalize that at all. So different gangs also have different purposes, whether it's a Mexican gang in South LA or whatever, or New York or whatever. They all have a different purpose. And for college students, it's kind of give it up for Sam.
No, really, we really on a time schedule. I'm so sorry.
Give me 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Just for college students to kind of get that, to kind of grasp that image of what a gang is, shows just a whole lack of comprehension of what a fraternity is also. Because if you've been in a shootout or whatever, you know that's different from being in a fraternity in college.
Give it up! Give it up! I do have one question for you. Were you offended that we generalize gangs and fraternities in the same concept?
Well, anybody who's offended can generalize.
Well, anybody know? Is there anybody that wasn't offended that we did this?
Because they're all different.
Well, who else wasn't offended? He said anybody would be offended. Not offended. Okay, great. We'll come right back into this topic. At this time, we're going to have an intermission. We'll have Courtney Jefferson come up and sing Hero. And I'm Mariah Carey.
There's a hero. Okay. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer. If you reach into your soul, in the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel our hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and the emptiness you felt will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel the hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you.
How long have you been singing?
I don't know.
It's been a while?
Yeah.
Would you like to go into singing as a profession?
I would like to, but at the same time, singing isn't guaranteed, so I like to have the education to back it up.
Man. Okay, so do you have any upcoming shows or anything coming up?
There's y'all talent show.
Okay, give it up for our talent show. Oh yeah, by the way, how do you feel about the topic tonight, Fresh versus Game?
It's straight so far.
No,
I mean, I don't feel anything actually. I just came to listen in and hear other people's opinions, but it's whatever.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Alright, we're gonna get right back into this topic. Chin, does being in a fraternity automatically make you superior to people that are not in a fraternity? Because does it? Because or is that just a misconception?
Really, if anyone really thinks that way, then it kind of screwed up because we all kind of equal. We birth from the same females, most of us, all of us. So, no one is superior to anyone. If you have the degree, if you have the education, then good for you. But don't think that you're better than the person that don't have a fraternity sign or anything.
Is there anybody that does think being in a fraternity does make you superior?
Not really.
Well, give up. He's gonna talk anyway.
I wouldn't really say superior. Tell that shirt, bro. Oh yeah,
wouldn't want to say superior though. I'd be like, a fraternity is help out since there's a gang and competition. You know what I mean? If you by yourself and 4 dudes run on you and some dude don't know you and you just get jumped by 4 dudes, you just jump. You just jump. But I know if I go to any other school, they ain't got no. I got have the letters on and some 4 dudes run on me. Them dudes ain't got no me. And I get a fight, they come up there hooking too. So basically, that's how I ain't saying superior, but it is beneficial.
So basically, so you're in a fraternity. What fraternity are you in? Okay. So basically, you use your fraternity members as a tool to help you fight. Basically, do you use your fraternity brothers as a tool to help you fight?
If they want to help, they tell me they want to.
Okay. What reason did you join the fraternity?
That's wrong because the motto, the mission statement, and the better thing to do for the community. That's the reason why I joined.
So you're a Sigma, right?
Yeah.
Quote the Sigma's mission statement.
Go to service for humanity.
That's the whole mission statement. What's the motto?
Same thing.
So it's a motto / mission statement.
Give
it up for this Sigma. Okay, what I want to talk about next. Listen, what I want to talk about next is probably the reason why I decided to have this topic. Frat groupies. That's what we're going to talk about next. Like Charles has informed us, some frats join fraternities just to be popular, just for popularity. So I want to know, do frat boys become a part of a fraternity just for girls, just for sex?
As a general statement,
yeah,
I think it does happen. Yes, I think it happens because people come into college as freshmen, probably not knowing anything about Greek life, and they want to fit in. They want to find their niche, and you're gonna see a group of guys with the same paraphernalia on, who seem to be popular on campus and dominant in the social aspect, and that's going to be attractive for a young 18-year-old freshman who was not really experienced in the world of, well, what's this organization going to do for you 10, 15 years down the road? They're not thinking like that. They're thinking about what's happening this Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah.
And so I think for freshmen and sophomores, young people are really thinking in that mindset. Yes.
Okay, as a president of a fraternity, have you ever encountered a frat groupie?
Yes.
Have you ever slept with a frat groupie?
No.
You never slept with a frat groupie. What about you, your fraternity? Have you ever encountered a frat groupie?
Yes, I have.
Please speak up. Please, everyone speak up. You have encountered a frat groupie?
Yes.
Okay, what was that experience like?
Well, first and foremost, when people hear about my fraternity, they're like, what the heck is that? But it is a fraternity that does exist at Savannah State, and yes, we do have our own groups there. Like they see us in clubs, they see us on campus. We give our call, throw out our signs and everything. And everyone wants to join that. I don't know if it's the fact that it's the fraternity itself, or rather, just the feeling of, okay, I know this person, he's in a fraternity. Let me be around him for a second. So maybe I can be popular just by being seen with him.
Okay. Akila, why don't you tell us the difference between a frat groupie and a fan?
Well, I'm assuming that frat groupies sleep with the fraternities and fans are just admirers. That's all I can think of.
What about you, Jen?
I have no clue about this subject because honestly, until we had that meeting, that was the first time I heard about it.
About frat groupies?
Yeah,
So
I just thought females just left the group and like them. I did not know anything about it.
Are there any frat groupies in the room? We have a member from Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity that would like to say something. Give it up for Dominique Cunningham.
First, I'd just like to say that, I'm actually appreciative of the fact that we have this television show to, speak out about our issues and have a view on TV, bro. I'm not here to do any bashing or any defense against the subject. I mean, it has been addressed before. I've actually heard a conversation on the radio about this very subject. But my standpoint on it is that the difference between a fraternity and a gang is the content of what we produce. We produce positive things. We produce programming, social activities, and opportunities for students on campus via the college. And we are a standpoint for further opportunities in life. As far as Crips and Bloods, they were founded they were founded in the late 70s in not Chicago, California. They're actually banded together by Stanley Tookie Williams and this other guy, and they're actually originally known as Cribs because they were like mid 17 years old. They were bound together to defend the gangs. They were put together to defend themselves from other gangs. And so their content, what they produce is larceny, burglary, all kinds of crimes. Fraternities produce scholarships, good events, parties, good college experiences. Gangs produce negative things. So that's my standpoint.
Go ahead, Ken.
Gangs and stuff are broken, needy people, you know what I'm saying? They need somebody there because maybe their dad might share their mom's or something like that. So they feel like they need that something so they can belong. Oh, I'm finna go shoot these girls at Walmart.
People in fraternities can be needy people also. And I want Alekia to come up. Alekia wrote something on her status today. Alekia is one of our models. Come on, Alekia, give it up for Alekia. Give it up! Alekia is one of our models and announcers here at the Express Lane. And she was promoting for the show today on her status. And there was someone that commented on her status that had just the most negative things in the world to say. And I want her to tell the people what he said.
He said that he does think it's a similarity because, oh my God, dang, I can't remember.
Don't do that, Alekia.
He was like, they have the same colors, and they throw up signs and they holler out the whatever they do or not. And he was like, he think that it's similar and that, cause I think he's from Macon. He wasn't even from Georgia, Southern, nowhere around here. He was like, he think that it's similar or whatnot. So
what did he say about fraternity brothers leaning on to mama and daddy?
Yeah, that's what he said. And then he also said that gang members.
No, talk about what he said about mama and daddy.
He said that fraternity guys depend on their mom and daddy. Like when they're in college, he's like that's what make them kind of like
gang members, because gang members are needy also, just like what Kay said.
Yeah. That's what he said.
Alright, great. At this point, we're going to open up the floor back to the audience members. Ashley. Excuse me.
I don't mean to sound rude when I say this, but I think this is a great thing that's going on in Express Lane. But when some people have comments, and you said it's time for them to express themselves, no restrictions, when they're not saying what you kind of want them to say, you kind of cut them off. And I think we should let them express themselves because they're not saying it to you, but they want to say
Come on, y'all. This is the Express Lane. I do want people to express themselves. Of course, me as the host is not about what I want to hear. It's about what y'all want to hear, what y'all truly want to hear. So, Brittany, do you have something you want to say?
Yes, actually.
Stand up, please. Stand up, please.
Okay. Hey, girl. I agree with what she has to say, but I just want to know, how do fraternity men lean on their parents? Like, I don't see that. So, could someone help me with that?
That was what was written in her stats. I want her to express that.
I don't remember word from word. I removed it like right.
That was what's written in her stats. I want her to express what's written in her stats. Okay. Great. Okay.
I think that people join sororities and fraternities because they see, like they know the history, they see where they are, and they believe in where they're going. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to be a part of this because you see these people and they're bettering themselves. Clearly, they're smart and educated because they're in college and they need a certain GPA. you have to have, you know, you do community service in order to be in a group, or else you wouldn't be in it, you know what I'm saying? And then they carry themselves with like a disposition that's just like, you know, not saying you better than everybody, but it's just like, I got me, you know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody else to reaffirm me or anything like that. So it's just like you want to be a part of something because you believe in what they're doing. So it's not like, oh, I want to do it because my daddy was. You might want to do something different, you know what I'm saying? It's just what you do.
Great. Marcus? Oh, I just thought it was important to mention that James, Marcus, speak up. James previously interviewed most of the people that are on the show. And since fraternity is such a touchy subject, a lot of people are scared to speak or scared to say certain things. So he knows the information that they know. He knows what they want to say. That's why he packages questions the way he does. So it's not that he's trying to be biased or he's trying to force them to think what he thinks. He wants them to say what they said earlier, and they won't say it earlier, so he asks direct questions for that reason. That's all I want to say. You on your way. Thank you. That's
I think that fraternities are a good thing, and they give young men something positive to idolize instead of, especially young, and I don't mean to be stereotypical, but it's true, young black males in America, something positive to idolize, and especially black poverty-stricken males. So I do think their message is positive, but I think some guys in fraternities do, I don't know, kind of use the fraternity as a crutch, and they idolize gangs, and so they use, I would say, their fraternity as that. They want to be in a gang, so they join a fraternity and use it as that. Because I personally, I don't know no fraternity member at this school that uses their fraternity as a crutch for that, and they're negative, and it's men like that that give their fraternity a bad name.
Give it up. Please welcome Ms. Jay Hankerson to the show. Now, Michelle, you're a member of a sorority, right?
Yes.
Okay, which sorority are you in?
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay, what is it like? Is this your first year being a sorority?
No, this is actually, well, yeah, it's my first year. It'll be 2 years on December 9th of this year.
Wow, so what is the experience like being in a sorority?
I don't want anybody in here to think that being in any organization, especially a sorority or fraternity, is easy. It's definitely a struggle every day, particularly when you have a leadership position, as I am the president of my chapter. But the experience overall has made me the person that I am today. Now, don't get me wrong, I came into Alpha Kappa Alpha as a whole woman. I will continue to be a whole woman, but my experiences have molded me to be a better person. So I'm not going to tell you that it's a cakewalk either. There are times that you're going to face opposition. There is competition, always, but as a whole, I feel like I'm prepared to take on whatever I need to.
Okay, great. And what are some distinct similarities and some distinct differences between, I'll just say Greek, not fraternity, but between Greeks and gangs?
Actually, I think they've all been stated. I know people were talking about signs and calls and things like that. But I think there is a certain amount of positive things that come from fraternities and sororities that you don't see in gangs. And so that's where the difference to me lies.
Great. Give it up for Michelle. Everett?
I was thinking, like, as we've been talking, and I noticed that there's a reason, there seems to be a common reason why people either join one of the two. I mean, not there's like a choice between the two, but it's more or less there's something missing. I believe that people who join, especially fraternities, seem to want to fill a hole, something that maybe only might be filled with God. But I mean, it's just something that I noticed that there's the people that I've talked to, like a lot of incoming freshmen, that say, well, man, I really want to pledge or whatever because I feel like that's what it will take to complete me or whatever. And I think that that's
Okay, let's get brother in the back.
All right. I'll listen to I'm not a member of any. This is what I speak to. I'm not a member of any fraternity or anything. But I heard someone earlier say that people want to join because they see that they have groupies on campus or whatever. One thing that might stop people from joining a fraternity outside of hazing or anything like that is that it's so secretive. Like, you don't know anything. There's general information that's available, and then there's some things that you don't know about the fraternity until you join or attempt to join or whatever. And I mean, you can't really do something that you can't know if you want to do something or not unless you try it, or I mean, or if you can read about it or whatever. And since there's so much limited information, you can only know so much.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Let's get Brandon real quick, and then I'm working around.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brandon Gillis, Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Well, a lot of people get the misconception that when you cross Greek or anything, you automatically become famous or whatnot. The truth is, if you're a lame coming into it, you're gonna be a lame after. Letters do not make the person make the letters. That's the reason the fraternity or sorority chooses the person. They judge you based on your education, how hard you want to work, and what you want to do for your community. So if you try to come in just to be like throwing parties, having groupies and whatnot, yeah, you might get it, but it's just gonna like end up coming like on a short end because you're gonna like get tired of it and whatnot. But it's like all about you. If you want to do it for the parties and whatnot, you're gonna get it for the parties, but you're gonna end up coming up short in the end. But if you want to do it for the right reason, you're gonna have more benefits and experience. And it's gonna help take you longer in the long run.
Do you think you have any frat brothers that joined Alpha
truthfully
for the wrong reasons?
Truthfully, no. Truthfully saying no. I can't really see none of my brothers because actually sitting back like a person who was in a fraternity wasn't in a fraternity at one time, I would say yeah, they're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. But after you get to know a person and be in the same shoes and went through the same things they went through, you're like, okay, I'm on the same level, seeing what they're seeing. So they actually have something they want to give out to the community and do for everybody. So they're actually benefiting themselves and community.
All right, great. Give it up for Brandon. All right, Dominique.
I actually wanted to address the whole mama thing. My fraternity teaches humility. That's being humble. That's being able to walk among kings and still keep your virtue. We are humble. We are the most humble people. So, throughout joining the fraternity, you learn humility. You learn how to be humble, how to address, the campus, because the campus makes you who you are. Now, again, we're seen to be famous, but it's not fame. It's the fact that you're put on a fishbowl. You're put in a fishbowl and you represent everything. Like if I did something, it's not going to be Dominique did it. It's going to be that outfit. You know what I'm saying? And as far as what else did I want to say? As far as asking for your help, most of us are still 19, 20 years old, and Alpha or whatever fraternity, it is a launching point for the man that you probably want to be later on, but you have to be humble enough. I would be humble enough to ask my mother for help if I was in trouble, just so I would be humble enough to ask my brother for help if I was in trouble. So if the guy is, asking for his help from his mother, at least he's asking for help to get himself to the next point. So that's all I'm saying.
Give it up for Dominique.
Yeah, I wanted to make another I guess similarity. I want to talk about Greeks and rivalries between one another. I want to touch on that a little bit because I know since I've been down here, there's been fights and people talk about certain different organizations, especially like when they cross. I want to touch on that a little bit more, why that happens, and like yard shows also. So
you want to touch on it?
I'm saying I want to.
Okay. Before we do that, we'll have K Loves Poetry. KK Head come up and do a little poem. I need you in me. We'll have KK Head.
The title of my poem is I Need You in Me. I need you in me. I need you in me. I'm not talking sexually, but emotionally. I need you to be in me so much so that I smile at the very thought of you, in all of the joy that you give to me, and through the compassion that we share, I cry teardrops of happiness that engulf my mind. I need you in me. I'm not talking sexually, but mentally. My every other thought is about my God and you, and I want you to be able to make my mind orgasm from the very penetration of your intelligence through my ears, and I want to be able to simply think about how much I love you, that when I turn to look at you, you see it in my eyes and say that you love me too. I need you in me. I'm not talking sexually, but spiritually. I need for your spirit man and my spirit man to be so entwined in God that I need for your spirit man and my spirit man to be so entwined in God that after we are united as one, I can feel your spirit touch mine as we walk past, and I can feel your spirit hug mine from across a crowded room, and I can feel your spirit kiss mine for all the times when you're not around, and I just feel like seeing you. I need you in me. And this time, I mean sexually. I need you to be in me so deeply that your mountain peak touches my valley, and I need you to be in me like the desert needs rainwater, because without you I would forever be dry. Me your MVP, and you don't have to worry about me, because I'm not one of those players that'll shoot but won't dribble, that'll pass but don't run. Just put me on the court in any position, I know all the plays. I need you to not just do it like Nike, but try harder like Avis, then be all you can be, and keep going and going and going with energy. And please don't be afraid, because it's so easy. A caveman can do it. And just know that like the chicken, I'm finger licking good, and just like M&M's, I melt in your mouth and not in your hands, and when it rains it pours, so be a quicker picker upper and obey your thirst. And then when it's all over and done and you ask me how I feel, I can simply sit back and say, I'm loving it. No, because I don't ever have anybody to record it.
Okay, so what inspired you to write that poem, I Need You in Me?
I wrote it because I was asked to perform for a lingerie scene of the fashion show.
Okay, so you thought about it. Alright, great. Give it up for Kay. Alright, y'all, we have an upcoming talent show. It's going to be on April 23rd, 2009, right there in the theater. $3 in advance, $5 at the door. We also have a general body meeting coming up on Tuesday, April 7th from 7 to 8 in Russell Union Room number 2048. There's going to be a talent show meeting on Tuesday, April 14th from 7 through 8 in Russell Union Room number 2048 also. We have our models passing around papers now for anybody that's interested in the talent show or interested in coming to our general body meeting. All right, Charles, final thoughts.
Final thought, if you're interested in joining a fraternity or sorority, research it. Take the time. There's plenty of literature, real books, not just internet sites out there to read. Now, people ask me why I joined Iota Phi Theta. I say that I made an educated decision. I researched all fraternities that I wanted to, including some predominantly white organizations and some predominantly black organizations. And I made a conscious decision to join the fraternity that I chose. That's all I'm gonna say is just please research it, because when you do decide to join it, when you take the oath of whatever fraternity or sorority you choose to, this is for life. At least within NPAC, it's for life. And it's not just for college. It's something people are gonna ask you about. It's something that I ask my teachers coming up. It's something that I expect people will ask me about when I become an older, wiser person.
Gerald, final thought.
There is a big difference between fraternities and gangs. The big difference is gangs, they're either going to end up in jail or 6 feet under. I'm not a Crip member, I'm a former Crip member, because I said to myself, this is not for me. I had to leave because my life was threatened. And I said to myself, there's more to life than this. Yes, I was one of the most feared Crips in my set. But that didn't mean anything to me because I scared everybody away. So when you look at fraternities, don't think about gangs because they're not gangs. Gangs will not help you across the street. Gangs will not help your community. Gangs will not help you as a person. Gangs will tear you down. Fraternities, they will help build you. Whether you join or whether you just want to be a friend with someone who's in a fraternity, they will help you along the way.
Give it up for Gerald.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying, but everyone, they have their own choice, and so if you want to do the fraternity thing, then you could go ahead and do the fraternity thing. But for personal reasons, I won't because I think things are too secretive, so I won't take that path. But hey, you have your perks, and so go ahead with the perks. Do what you think is right. If you want the perks and you think risking secrecy or risking being able to make individual choices, then hey, teach their own.
Before we go to Tila, one of the examples was saying you had a story about the 14-year-old man and the 16-year-old girl.
Okay.
Please calm down. We would really like to hear this story.
I was a freshman at Savannah State. And before I get to what James is talking about, I want to actually, give, the good side of the story of this particular fraternity. So I found myself drunk one night,
Sorry, can we get you to stand up? Yeah, you can stand right by me.
So, as I was saying, I was a freshman at Savannah State. And one night, I got drunk, with one particular fraternity. And I ended up in the upperclassmen dorm. I didn't know how to get back to my dorms because I was new, and of course, like I said, I was drunk. So I found myself sitting on the steps, and another fraternity, this guy in his fraternity, he actually opened the door. He didn't know me, I didn't know him, but he opened his door to me and allowed me to sleep on his couch that night. And the next day, he showed me how to get back to my room, which was really cool. But on the flip side, this same fraternity, okay, I was invited to this private party, with these fraternity members. And the youngest frat there had to be 29 maybe. The rest of them maybe old enough to be your father's, probably grandfather. And so we're in here, music's playing, and suddenly out of one of the back rooms comes these three females. And these females were illegal. What I mean by illegal, the oldest one couldn't have been no more than 18. The youngest one's 16. So they're out doing their little dance for all of us in here. But I'm actually sitting back like, you know what, this is not right. I don't feel comfortable with all of these little girls running around there half naked and all these old men that's old enough to be their grandfathers. Like, this ain't cool. So the party turns into something a little more. The girls go back to the room they came out of. And suddenly someone is like, all right, for this amount of dollars, you can have this girl, or you can have this girl, or you can have this girl. So it turns from an illegal strip party to basically an illegal bordello. All right, these females start giving up their bodies for these fraternity members. What fraternity? I'm not gonna say because I don't want to put anybody out there like that. Why not? Because I have respect for them. They didn't do anything bad to me. Okay, whatever they do, that's on them. But as far as what I saw, I mean, it was disrespectful, it was despicable, it was disgusting. But regardless of all of that, I'm not going to put them up on blast like that. I'm just going to say a particular fraternity. Y'all can speculate who it may be, who it may be.
Every fraternity, but how could a person, I don't care who you are, how could you have respect for somebody after seeing their other side?
Alright.
Did you want to respond? Go ahead.
I agree with you. Like, how could any person have respect for these individuals going through that? But it's the individuals, not the fraternity, the individuals. Okay, you cannot fault the entire fraternity for these individuals. You know, every person goes into an organization, you know, as who they are. If they turn into something else because of this organization, that's on them. That's the person. That's not the organization. So yes, I still have respect for that fraternity. As far as those individuals, no, I do not have respect for them.
Okay.
Yeah. You mentioned that one of the girls, or a few of the girls, were about 15, 16 years old. I'm just curious, how old were these guys in this particular fraternity?
Like I said, the youngest one couldn't have been any less than 20. The rest, 40, 50.
So there were guys that were 40 years old. There were guys that were 40 years old in this building with 16-year-old strippers?
Right.
Okay. That's not right. Akila, final thought. Please be quiet. Akila, final thought.
Okay, I just want to feed off his story. That was a sick story or whatever, like that or whatever. But other organizations and all types of things, sick things happen in different organizations all the time. So I don't want to like single out fraternities and say that they're all sick and they all do bad things, because that's not true. Because you can go to a church and things are happening in the church that are not right. There's so many different immoral, sick things happening in the world, and I don't want to just single out fraternities because it happens. But as far as my final thought, there are similarities between gangs and fraternities, but there is a huge difference. And I think that the difference is being a positive for the fraternities and a negative. Fraternities don't go out gang banging, shooting up people, ruining other people's lives, ruining themselves. They better themselves in the community. So that's my final thought.
Give it up. Everett, final thought.
Really, just do your research. I mean, you can't live life one generalization at a time. So I mean, before just go throw everybody under the bus for something that one person did, you know, just look at the rest of it, you know, before you make a clear-cut decision.
Dominique, final thought.
I'm gonna go with the quote that we use in Alpha is, college days swiftly pass. That means that your experience here is not long, it's short. My best experience was fall 2007. I wasn't Greek, but I had the best of my friends around me and we had the best of times in college, and I ended up getting like a 3.7. That's what really matters, what you came here for. So don't forget that part.
All right, we'll give Kenny a final thought. President of Alpha Phi Omega.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, basically, I think personally it goes with the individual. Because I mean, all gang members aren't somebody who was needy and needed somebody to hold them, and all fraternity members aren't people who lean on their parents or anything. It's just it's an individual. It's based on the individual how they feel about their reasons for joining. If you want to join, to better the community or better yourself, then you can do that. But if you're joining, a gang or whatever, in order to do harm or in order to, go rape people, then that's what you're gonna end up doing. But every gang member isn't somebody that shot somebody and raped somebody and killed somebody.
Final thoughts.
I just want to say, definitely, thank you for supporting the Young Ticket. I am now your president of student government. And we look forward to working with each and every one of y'all. Again, something that didn't get said, but I like how we were educational on different parts of this show tonight. All MPHC organizations are incorporated. And what that means is they are businesses, okay? So whereas you can be in an organization that, I won't name anyone, but y'all meet occasionally, y'all council a meeting. When you're making a decision to be a part of these organizations, you're joining a business and you have to conduct yourself as such. So what y'all see on the front side, the parts and stuff, these people handle business because they have adults, graduate people in alumni associations who overlook them. So be business minded in making educational decisions and know that there's so much more to it.
Well, we sure do thank y'all for coming out to the Express Lane tonight to express your voice. By the way, immediately after this, at 10 o'clock, we're going to have an after party, Express Lane after party in the Avenue, apartment 32. Everyone should have gotten a flyer. By the way, there will be no alcohol and there will be no strippers at this after party. No The truth is simply this. If you believe in what a Kappa stands for, if you believe in what a Delta stands for, if you can Google their mission statement and you believe that mission statement word for word in your heart, then quite frankly, you do not have to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to become a Kappa. You don't have to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to become a Delta. For goodness sakes, getting saved is free. If you believe that Jesus died on the cross for you in your heart, then you're saved. So surely, if you believe that what a Kappa stands for, you can be saved. And that's the final thought for me. Thank you. Everybody have a great day.